All right, we are back to another edition of the HSL Let's Go podcast. Let's see what podcast we're up to right now. We're up to the 103rd podcast. Pretty crazy. A lot has happened since our last podcast. Before we get into the mid to end season power rankings for our HSL Summer Night League, we've been very busy here at HSL. Thank God we've opened up registration for our South Florida Softball League starting in the first couple weeks of November. A big shout out to Joey Katz and Yona Berger for being co-commissioners of that league. This has been our fastest growing in terms of interest. It's been blowing up, and we are so thrilled and excited. And we see so much potential out there in the men's space and also in the kids space. And the fact that we have, 12 to 14 captains already reaching out wanting to bring teams only a week into the flyer being public is amazing. We're also working boots on the ground, literally advertising and really pushing our Five Towns Youth Softball League. So we're super excited about that as well. A lot going on, but right now we are here to discuss the power rankings. 14 teams, a lot of teams that are battling it out for the top and a lot of teams that are battling it out for the bottom for the last playoff spot. We obviously have 10 teams that make the playoffs. The 7, 8, 9, and 10 will do NBA-style tournament in which 7 plays 8. The winner moves on. 9 plays 10. And the winner of the 9 versus 10 will play the loser of the 7 versus 8 for that final 8th spot. So 7 versus 8 has 2 shots at it. 9 versus 10 has 1 shot at it. The loser of 9 versus 10 obviously is eliminated. Okay, so here we go. We got 14 teams. And let's get into it. So coming in at number 14, we have Advanced Power Controls. Obviously, Advanced Power Controls is co-captained by one of the best players overall in the Summer Night League, Moshe Feintuch, arguably a top 3 player in the whole league, top 5. He brought a team, from my understanding, that was meant to be a team to sort of groom, sort of train in, sort of build, sort of I guess sort of build their talents to eventually be playing at higher levels. And I don't really think it worked out so well. A lot of the higher end teams in this night league are just too overpowering. They've had a pretty rough schedule. They played against a couple of tougher teams. They did have a couple games that they should have won. This past week, they had 2 games where they're playing a depleted Can Do Cans team without Jack Ross. That Moshe's in. They're up by, I think, 5-1 at one point. They're even tied going into the bottom of the 6th inning, and they just couldn't pull it off. And to make it even worse against the Black Sox the next game, 2, by the way, top-tier teams, they also were up, I think it was by 6-0, and then up by 2 runs going to the 7th, and blew it and got walked off. So they come in, ultimately at, they're currently, well, in this thing they're only 0-1, but I think they're 0-5, and it's unfortunate. Mo's obviously a fantastic player, and he's got some talented players around him. He did bring a much better team last week, so I don't know what he'll bring going forward. They're not eliminated yet. Nobody's eliminated yet. However, they have to win out and need a lot of help. Coming in at number 12 are the Bravo Kosher Pizza Summer Georgies. Bravo is a super fun team. I am personally rooting for that team. They're awesome. They bring good vibes. They're just overall great guys, great to have in the league. We appreciate them. Also, similar to the Advanced Power Controls, they hung tight with the better of the teams for the most part. They're losing games, some very bad, some by a little, but they're an awesome team. They bring the vibes. They bring the mojo. They bring the fans. A lot of their kids show up, which is great to always see. And yeah, it's just unfortunate. They've lost, like I said, a couple close games, a couple blowouts, but they are also, I'm pretty sure, 0-5, either 0-4 or 0-5. They are currently 1-5. They actually have a win. So 1-5. They come in um, at number 13. Coming in at number 12 is Holy Schnitzel. Holy Schnitzel is a very weird team. Their top 5 guys are really talented and would be a top 20 player on most teams in the league, and each of them would probably be a top 3 player on most teams. After that is a big drop off from what I've seen. Currently, also 0-5. They have a thing about playing really well the first 3 innings and getting absolutely demolished the last four. You can make an argument that they should be back at 14. The reason why I have them at 11 at 12 is only because their top five players are just that good. And you never know. It just, it's unfortunate. Holy Schnitzel, again, also a team that brings the vibes. They've been great. They order from Holy Schnitzel every game, which is great for us. We appreciate it. We love Holy Schnitzel and appreciate them supporting our sponsors. But they come in at number 11. Also, similar to Advanced Power and Control is really needed win out their last two. One more loss, and they're eliminated. They're actually playing each other tonight. Advanced Power Controls and Holy Schnitzel, the loser will be eliminated. The winner needs to win again and then hope for a lot of help. No one technically eliminated yet. We'll have our first eliminated team after tonight. Coming in at number 11, we have King Ventures. Of course, Craig Stroh, the awesome, amazing Craig Stroh, who we love so much, the Spring Legacy League champion. He brings different teams every week. It's hard to know. He brings certain teams that look like the worst team in the league. He brings certain teams like the best team in the league. So he's just a wild card. I don't know where to put him. That's why he's not further down from 11. That's why he's not higher up from 11. Craig's an awesome guy. We just, we need to see a little bit more consistency from Craig Stroh's team. Who shows up, who doesn't show up. And until we see that, it's really hard to move him. They come in again 1-4. A lot of teams 1 win or 0 wins. We have currently 5 teams with 1 or 0 wins, which really means that one of those 5 teams could still get a playoff spot. So King Venture is currently 1-4. Also, really, they need to win both. If they really want to lock down that last spot, they win one, they have a shot. So King Venture is coming in at number 11. Coming in at number 10 is Jake Byrne, the amazing HSL Jake Byrne sponsor, amazing guy, amazing friend. Addictive Research, Addictive Ads, got it all. By the way, Addictive Research, do those, get involved. It takes 20 seconds to do these, answer these questions. It's all multiple choice. You get paid and you get entered into raffles. So definitely get involved if you have not yet. I do every single one of them. They're really quick. Addictive Research, Jake Byrne, it's the same story every year, and it's frustrating because Jake Byrne, he's building solidly talented teams. It's just not panning out again. Adam Bromberg, really good player, running our draft league. We appreciate it. Nenner playing occasionally, but hopefully enough to be able to make the playoffs. Ellie Sugarman's a great player. They got Gindorf, phenomenal outfielder, great hitter. Nafi Frankel, great player. Nachum Mintz, solid pitcher. Yankee Herskowitz, also solid when he plays. They have a very solid team. They just have been trouble putting it together. Coming in also at 1-3, they still have 3 games ahead of them. Again, they need to win 2 out of 3 to lock down that last playoff spot. 1 win will, give them a shot. 3 wins, they'll, for sure make it. But, they're just an enigma. Jake's, been putting together a pretty solid team. Just it hasn't been successful for him. And, he's come in for that reason at number 10. Coming in at number 9, and this is where we get a little bit tricky here. Allbank currently 2-2. Allbank also very, very all over the place. They'll have certain weeks they say only have 5 guys available, 4 guys available. When their full team shows up, they are a top 5 team in this league. I don't trust it. I don't trust that that they have the consistency in them. They're very young. They're very athletic. They have a very solid pitcher in Dovey Klein. Their captain Shamai is awesome. He plays in every single thing we've ever done. He plays in our softball. He plays in our basketball. He's playing in our tournament. He's awesome as well. They're great people. I need to see more consistency out of them. They are 2-2. They do have 3 games ahead of them. So again, need to win 1. 2 for sure will get them in. 1 should get them in. They lose out, they're in trouble. But they got 3 games ahead of them. They're coming in at 2-2. They'll be at number 9. Coming in at number 8, the No Respector, you decide. Crown Care. Crown Care has only 1 win. However, Crown Care, they have 2 wins actually. 2-3. But they have had the hardest schedule. They have the hardest schedule overall in the whole league. Crown Care is also a really loaded team. Just starting from some guys who I play with Monday nights. Crown Care has Aaron Erlich and Rudansky, 2 really, really, really solid players. It just I could keep on going and pull up the roster. It's unfortunate they're playing they have the hardest schedule. Paltov, Donnie Freed, Swaggy Gottlieb, who's I don't know going to qualify for them, but they're a really good team. The Tabaks and Abitan and Shiro Zelimsky. They have a lot of talent. Yakov Goldstein, really a lot of talent on that team. If they get everybody eligible for the playoffs, Jared, of course, is awesome on the mound. They get everyone eligible for the playoffs. They could make a run, but right now as they stand, 2-3, also an enigma in terms of who shows up, when they show up, what roster is going to show up. I think that's why they show up at number 8. Coming in at number 7, and here's probably the biggest surprise, or at least my biggest hot take of the whole, or second biggest hot take of the power rankings so far, are the Black Sox. The Black Sox coming at 3-1. They just had two big wins the other night. One pretty easily, one big comeback walk off. Same with the Crown Cards to another extent. You don't know who's going to show up. A certain Black Sox team could lose to the worst team in the league by 15 runs. They could beat the best team in the league by 5 runs. They're so inconsistent. They're so all over the place. There are different guys there every single week. It's just a roller coaster ride, and for that reason, even with coming in at 3-1, sitting in fifth place overall in the standings, I had them at number 7 in the power rankings. Coming in at number 6, we got Wall Street Grill, captained by Sach Felberg. Wall Street Grill, also a really talented team. They don't have the same talent as the top 4-5 teams in the league. However, they are very deep. They have a very, very deep roster, and Wall Street Grill is coming in currently at 3-2, also sitting pretty. They should already be in the playoffs. I don't think they clinched yet. One win should get it for them. They beat some good teams. They've lost some hard games. Obviously the Matt Rosenberg 3-run home run and grand slam game really beat them single handedly. However, they're a deep team. They have a great roster, and Rasach at captain. I wouldn't put anything by them. Ari Slamos is a very solid pitcher, throws strikes. Cavalier, Favas, Zagelbaum, Eli Sabo, Beanstalk and Sach and Shui, and Yehuda Silver, also a very good player, and of course Aaron. They have a very good squad, a very solid squad. I wouldn't put anything past them. They could beat anybody, but they just don't have the same talent the top 5 teams in the league have. So now we're down to the final 5. Here's where things get tricky. They're not going to like this. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but I have to do what I have to do. I've seen a lot of their games. They're a very good team. They shocked me like crazy. I had them last in the power rankings to begin. They're currently 5-0, and they're in the 3 tie in first place, and I had them number 5, and you may ask why, and I'll explain in a second. Coming in at number 5 is the Baby Billy Baseball Bonkers, brought to you by Sam at CPA. Now, here's why they're number 5. Baby Billy, let's go through their, quickly go through their games against right now on the live on the pod. Let's hit up Baby Billy's here. All right. So they beat up on Bravo. They barely beat Addictive Research. They beat up on the Black Sox, who like I said, are an enigma, and they come with teams that are either really good or really bad. And they did have a very impressive win over the Robins, and they beat up on the Kiddish, and then they beat up on the Holy Schnitzel Kiddish Clubbers, who are also really not good. So yes, they're 5-0. Yes, they have impressed me. Yes, they're doing good, but they've been given a really easy schedule. They had one really impressive win. I think that's all. You could call the Addictive Research win, I guess, impressive, but they're one of the weaker teams. Black Sox, again, showed up with a really weak team. So although they are 5-0, I think it's a very oversold 5-0. If you're going to call it, I'm not saying they're a bad team. I love Yossi Held. I love those guys. I think 5 of them are signed up for the full tournament, so I have no agenda here to upset them. I actually want to make them happy. But for those reasons, I have them at number 5. Coming at number 4 are Ariel Cohn's Robins. The Robins are always a top team in this league, having guys like Ariel Cohn on the mound and Josh and Jakey Goldenberg behind him, and Matt Rosenberg playing on that Robin team. They could be number 1. Like, they're just fantastic. They could beat anybody anytime with Ariel on the mound, and Matt's the best player in the league by a landslide. I had them number 4 because, again, Matt's not consistent always. Obviously, he'll be in the playoff roster, so will Josh and Jake, who also aren't the most consistent. They're not super deep after the top 5 or 6, 4 or 5 or 6. They do fall off, pretty significantly. But with a pitcher like Ariel, they always will have a chance to win the championship. They come in at number 4. Coming in at number 3 are Can Do Cans. Now, they're number 3 solely, in my opinion, because of Moshe Zinn and Jack Ross. They have not played so much during the season. I think they definitely will play enough to qualify and be eligible for the playoffs. Of course, their pitchers, 2 pitchers actually, Blisco, and I forget the name of the other one. Both very solid. They both throw strikes. They don't walk guys. Overall, they have a very, very solid team. You go through their roster, quickly. Jordan Hiller, great hitter, all fields. Shirley Dax, phenomenal hitter, of course, the legendary Eli Manning throw to win the gauntlet. Sean Prager, also a great player, captain in the tournament. They have a very solid team. They're coming in number 3, currently sitting at 4th in the standings at 3-1. Again, they should be pretty much set. The question is, what seed they end up in. Can Do Cans, great team, better sponsor. We appreciate them. Stay tuned next week for some good footage and video of Can Do Cans in action. We cannot wait for that. So now we're down to our final two. Coming in at number 2, our hottest sponsor, our newest sponsor, the Twillery Tigers. Of course, shout out to Twillery and all their awesome stuff they have. This is, of course, one of their air polos. Twillery has a fantastic team. They're fully loaded. They're stocked. There's not much, stacked. There's not much I could really say about them other than that they're just overall amazing. We could go through the roster. They've had 2 really solid pitchers. Of course, they have a great field. They have as Younger, they have Yitzi Miller, the 2 studs, Malcolm Dicker at first base, also a stud. Chesky Itzkowitz, Devin Manella, keep on going. Josh Peter Patel, Sendy's awesome. Yitzchak Weiss, also a pitcher. Tzviki Milstein's great. They got, Yossi Rosenberg. It's a stud stock. It's a really, it's a real, stack team. And they come in at number 2. They're really awesome. It's a team that I believe should go to the A-League next year. I believe that as Younger should take one for the team and Shoji Yitzi Miller, stick with their boys, and come up to the A-League. They're so deep. They're so talented. Coming in at number 1, and well-deserved, is Bad Attitude. They're just so freaking good. And everywhere. They're studs in the infield, studs in the outfield. Mikey Weiss just gets the job done on the mound, throws strikes, doesn't walk guys. They have a awesome team. Akiva Light, fantastic in the field. Chris Vasquez, one of the best outfielders outside of Matt Rosenberg in the whole league. Dove Slansky at first, of course. You've got Sammy Miller, the Gold Glove, at third. Morty Kirsch in the middle of the infield, also an absolute stud. Shlomo Ross in the outfield, absolute stud. You just got stud after stud all over. Alex in the infield, also amazing. All over. Benji Ashkenazi, of course, the captain, together with Morty Kirsch. It's just a deep team, a team that also must be going to Tier 1 next year. They're currently 5-0 as well, currently in the 1 seed. Officially, according to the standings, we got Bad Attitude. We got the Baby Billy, Baseball Bonker, Sambit CPA, and Twillery Tigers all at 5-0. They're the only ones so far who have clinched the playoff spot, and they're going to be battling out the final 2 games for who gets the 1, 2, and 3 seed. Of course, the way it's working, remember, is after we have the top 8 seeds, the top 4 will be able to pick from the bottom 4. So the 1 seed will decide who from 5 through 8 they want to play, then 2 picks, then 3 picks, and then 4 picks. We are in, it's always exciting with 2 games left that everybody's still in it for something. The top seeds are all battling it out. The bottom seeds are all battling it out for that last playoff spot. Again, you have 5 teams with 1 win or less. One of those teams will get in. So no one's out. Tonight will be the first elimination game. Holy Schnitzel versus Advanced Power and Controls. Winner is alive, not in sitting pretty, but the loser will be eliminated, and their last game will just be for funsies. So there you go. There's the power rankings. Let's see how people decide it went. Let's let it play out and let's see what you think. We are super excited. Remember, big shout out to Wall Street Grill, the champion of the HSL Summer Night League. Will really be happy. I was just there the other day at my wife for my birthday, and their food is off the charts. It's also got a new chef that was from the original steakhouse thing called Prime Grill. Also amazing stuff. Great vibes. Drinks are awesome. Hopefully it's nice weather out. Go out to the garden upstairs. Also fantastic views and vibes and chills. They got music at night sometimes, so it's really awesome. And they'll be winning team will have $900 toward Wall Street Grill. So we're pumped to have that and see that. So you're battling it out. Besides for the trophies and the pride, we also got some food for you. So that's it. That's it from here. Thanks for listening. Again, so much fun stuff coming up. HSL, of course, we got all of our kids leagues starting as well in a few weeks. All the men's leagues, the men's basketball. We got a couple teams really building. Dylan Kaufman's trying to goal out, trying to build a super team. Ellie Dax is telling me there's a superstar he's looking into right now. So we'll see. Watch, we see him coming off an upsetting loss in the semis. A lot going on. We got men's stuff in 5 towns, men's stuff in Florida, kids stuff all over. Tournament, saw the draft tourney coming up. Stay tuned for all that. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.